Frankenweenie. Here we go with another Tim Burton theory, but I hope you're excited because I am. Like, this theory is gonna be creepy. So, if you don't want your childhood ruined, maybe skip this video. But if you don't care, just keep watching. Alright, so Frankenweenie is a movie about a kid named Victor and his dog. He loves this dog, but one day, at a baseball game, the dog runs off onto the street and, well, a car hits him. Sparky! Oh, I forgot to mention there was gonna be spoilers. Sorry for the spoiler. Anyways, just because he was feeling like a great loss, he dug this dog up from the grave, brought it back home, and tried to revive him. Honestly, that scene was pretty hard to watch. I am so glad that we didn't see like him dead. That would have been really traumatizing, I think. But basically, he does revive the dog, and that's pretty much the whole movie. Then, things go on. But the thing that I want to talk about the most is probably one of the most creepy characters in this movie. One of the most interesting characters in this movie. And that would be the weird girl. Apparently, her name is Anne Chambers, but she is credited as the weird girl. So I'm just going to call her the weird girl. The first time we see her in this movie is whenever she walks up to Victor and tells him that something big is coming to him. We don't know if it's good, we don't know if it's bad, but the reason she knows this is because her cat pooped the letter V, which I guess stands for Victor. So she knows that something big is happening to him, and she tries to warn him, but he does not believe her. And immediately, the first thing we notice about this girl is like her eyes. Her eyes are so big, and like her pupils are so small, and she barely ever blinks. I found this to be the strangest thing about her. And her cat. Her cat does the same thing. Like, it looks like she's been through some, like something, traumatizing, because also, like at the end of the movie, kind of towards the end of the movie, when we are in her room, we see a lot of butterflies in her room. And if you've seen my corpse bride theory, then you would know that these butterflies actually signify like souls. And so maybe she's being stalked by a soul, and like she's surrounded by death all the time, and that's why she's like this traumatized. But that is not my theory. My theory goes in a different direction. So I did a little bit of digging, and I found out, which I don't really know a lot about Tim Burton, but I found out that he wrote poems. And not gonna lie, some of these poems are pretty creepy, but that's his whole vibe, and I like it for Halloween. But there's just one poem that caught my attention. I once knew a girl who would just stand there and stare at anyone or anything. She seemed not to care. She'd stare at the ground, she'd stare at the sky. She'd stare at you for hours, and you'd never know why. But after winning the local staring contest, she finally gave her eyes a well-deserved rest. And the title of the poem is Staring Girl. And most people that read this poem interpret it in a very sinister way. At the end, she says that she gives her eyes a well-deserved rest, but many people interpret that to mean that she took her eyes out. And it makes sense. So, does this girl remind you of anyone in Frankenweenie? Perhaps this weird girl over here? Well, my theory is that she is that same girl. This weird girl took her eyes out to give her eyes a rest. And perhaps she did the same to her cat, since they have such a striking resemblance. And well, after she had them placed back, her eyes were never the same again. And that's why she's always staring the way that she does. That's why her eyes do not seem like anyone else's eyes in this movie. She is the weird girl. The weird girl that took her own eyes out. But perhaps she is being followed by all of these souls and telling her what to do. Of course she's gonna be the weird girl. To people, she may seem like she's not all there, but she is. She's just being followed around these souls. But what do you think? Do you think she took her own eyes out? Do you believe she took her cat's own eyes out as well? Do you believe she's being followed around by these spirits, demons, ghosts, monsters, whatever they are? Let me know in the comments below.
Maybe now we found our own one. The same old song with a zesty look. I'm ready to explore.